In a small town, nothing stays hidden unless the town wants it to. Small towns feel safe. Quiet streets, familiar faces, neighbors who wave as you pass. But sometimes, the silence isn't peaceful, it's protective. Tonight, 3 true nightmare horror stories from small towns. But the scariest part wasn't what happened. It was what everyone ignored. Nightmare 1. Every small town has a house like that. Not boarded up, not falling apart, just avoided. Ours sat at the end of Maple Street, 2 stories high, faded white siding, a porch swing that never moved. The lawn was always cut. The windows were always closed. And yet, no one ever talked about who lived there. When I was a kid, my friends and I would ride our bikes past it every summer evening. We never stopped in front, never slowed down. There was an unspoken rule: pedal faster when you reach the driveway. Not because we saw anything, because we didn't. It was too still. No cars in the driveway, no curtains shifting, no lights turning on or off, just quiet. I remember asking my dad once who lived there. He didn't look up from the TV. "Old place," he said. "Mind your business." That was the end of it. In a small town, when adults shut something down like that, you learn not to ask again. Years passed. The house stayed the same. Then, one spring, a moving truck showed up. That alone caused whispers. A young family stepped out. Mom, Dad, 2 kids about my age. They waved at neighbors, unloaded boxes, hung flower baskets on the porch. For the first time in my life, the porch swing moved. It felt wrong, like the house didn't want to be lived in. Within a week, the kids were riding bikes with us. They said the inside of the house smelled strange, like something damp and old in the walls. They joked about hearing knocking at night. We laughed, told them the pipes in that place were ancient. But then, about 2 weeks after they moved in, the kids didn't show up for school. At first, no one thought much of it. Then their parents didn't go to work. Their car stayed in the driveway, porch light on at night, all night. By the 3rd day, people started noticing. But no one knocked on the door. No one called the police. They just talked about it at the diner. Lowered voices, speculation. Probably a family emergency. They'll turn up. By the 5th day, the sheriff parked outside the house, not with sirens, just quietly. He went inside alone. He stayed for over an hour. When he came out, his face was pale. He locked the door behind him, put a notice on the front, and drove away. The next morning, the notice was gone. The moving truck returned a week later, but no one loaded boxes this time. Instead, everything inside the house disappeared. Furniture, curtains, decorations, like the family had never existed. When I asked my mom what happened, she said something I still remember. Some things aren't meant to be understood. The house went back to normal. Lawn trimmed, porch swing still, windows closed. No new family ever moved in again. And what unsettles me the most is not that the family vanished. It's that no one in town ever filed a missing persons report. No candlelight vigil, no flyers, no questions. In a small town, nothing stays secret. Unless everyone decides it should. In a small town, rumors travel fast, but sometimes they stop. If that didn't creep you out, the next nightmare definitely will. It's not about a house everyone avoided. It's about someone everyone trusted. Nightmare 2. Every small town has someone like him, the dependable one. The one everyone calls first when something goes wrong. In our town, that was Mark Delaney. volunteer firefighter, assistant Little League coach. First to show up when a barn caught fire or a tree fell across the road. He drove an old red pickup with a department sticker on the back window. People waved when he passed. Parents trusted him. Kids admired him. He was always around. So when Emily Carter went missing that October, Mark was one of the first people at her parents' house. Emily was 17, honor student, worked part-time at the diner, never caused trouble. She didn't come home one night after closing. Her car was found parked behind the diner, doors locked. Her phone left on the passenger seat. That's when the whole town shifted. Search parties formed immediately, and Mark organized them. He printed maps, assigned sections of woods to volunteers, brought bottled water and flashlights. He hugged Emily's mother in front of everyone, told her they wouldn't stop looking. For weeks, the woods were full of people calling her name. And every time someone suggested searching near the old quarry road, Mark would shake his head. Too steep, he'd say. Nothing out there but rock and brush. He sounded confident, like he knew. No one questioned him. Why would they? He was the one leading the search. It was almost 2 months later when a hunter found something, not far from Quarry Road. A piece of fabric caught on a broken fence post. The police didn't announce anything at first, but that night, 2 state troopers came into town. Not local deputies, state police. They didn't go to Emily's house. They went to Mark's. There were no sirens, no flashing lights, just quiet vehicles parked outside his home. The next morning, his truck wasn't in the driveway, and by afternoon, word had spread. He'd been arrested. Evidence placed him near the quarry the night Emily disappeared. Cell phone data, tire tracks, things he thought no one would notice. The town didn't hold a press conference. The fire department removed his name from their website quietly. The church replaced him as youth group leader without mentioning why. At the grocery store, people spoke in low voices, not about what he did, but about how shocked they were. And then, slowly, they stopped talking about it altogether. The fire station kept operating. The diner reopened. High school football games continued on Friday nights. It was like the town decided it had absorbed enough damage, like acknowledging it any longer would make it permanent. But sometimes when I drive past the fire station, I still picture him standing there in uniform, smiling, offering help, because in a small town, trust is automatic. And sometimes the person organizing the search is the one who knows exactly where to look. If you're still watching, take a second to like this video. It helps Nightmare Central reach more people who love true nightmare horror. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because the final nightmare tonight isn't about someone the town knew. It's about something the town tried to hide. Nightmare 3. On the edge of town, there's a field everyone pretends not to notice. It used to be farmland decades ago, corn mostly. Now it's just tall grass, rusted fencing, and a dirt access road that leads nowhere. If you drive past it during the day, it looks harmless. Open sky, wind moving through grass. But at night, it feels different, like the darkness sits heavier there. When I was 16, that field became something else entirely. His name was Tyler Jennings, senior, varsity baseball. The kind of guy teachers described as going places. He wasn't reckless. He wasn't in trouble. He didn't have enemies. That Friday night, he left a friend's house around 11:30 p.m. He never made it home. The next morning, His car was found parked halfway down the dirt road that leads into the field, driver's door open, keys still in the ignition, phone sitting on the passenger seat, no signs of a struggle, no broken glass, just abandoned. By noon, the whole town knew, and for once, nobody stayed quiet. Search parties filled the field by the afternoon. Volunteers walked in straight lines through tall grass, calling his name. Helicopters circled overhead. Police dogs tracked the scent about 200 yards into the field. And then it just stopped, like he vanished mid-step. I remember standing at the edge of the grass with my dad. He kept saying it didn't make sense. Cars don't get left like that. Phones don't get left like that. Something happened. But days passed. Then weeks. The sheriff held a press conference outside the station. Said there was no evidence of foul play. People shifted uncomfortably when he said it, because everyone knew that wasn't true. Rumors started quietly. Someone saw a second vehicle near the field that night. Dark SUV, parked without headlights. But that detail never made it into the official report. Tyler's parents tried to push for more investigation, but they were told there was no actionable lead. Then something strange happened. The town stopped talking. No more search parties. No more Facebook posts. No more ribbons tied to mailboxes. Even at school, teachers avoided his name. It was like the town had reached a silent agreement. Move on. Years later, I learned something from someone who used to work at the county clerk's office. There'd been a traffic camera capture near the highway exit that night. It showed Tyler's car, and behind it, that same dark SUV. The SUV belonged to someone connected, a local business owner, generational money, donor to the sheriff's re-election campaign. The footage was never submitted into evidence. The file was marked corrupted. In a small town, corruption doesn't always look dramatic. It looks like paperwork missing, reports misfiled, questions gently redirected. Tyler was eventually declared legally dead. No body ever found. The field was sold 2 years later. A storage facility was built over most of it. Concrete poured where the tall grass once moved in the wind. But I still drive past it sometimes, and every time I do, I think about how quickly a town can go from loud and desperate to quiet and compliant, because small towns don't always bury secrets underground. Sometimes they pour concrete over them and tell everyone to forget. Small towns don't forget. They just choose what to remember. So we hope you remember where to find your next true nightmare horror story. This was Nightmares of Small Towns. Sleep carefully.